Right, hi lads and lasses. Hope there's one or two of yous out there. Right, welcome to Darts Coaching with Dynamite Dave, live stream Sunday stream. So we're just as usual. We're just going to have a load of fun, have a load of questions and what have you, a load of banter. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel up here, you can do it from Streamlabs with that address that's above the top of my head. You can donate on Skrill. You can do a super chat, which is at the bottom, and also, you can get in touch with me at dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com, and you can donate direct into the bank. Right, so, let's get this show on the road. Put that down, let's see if we can get a chat going. There's our browser. Yeah, here we go. Right. Cool. Right, so let's have a bit of a chuck, a bit of a warm up while people tune in. Hi Steve, mate. You alright? Looking forward to this. Is the sound okay and everything? I'm hoping so. It was a bit ropey, wasn't it, on Wednesday? But been doing a little bits with it and what have you, and trying to make it a little bit better. Right, hi Mark Kennedy. Clayton B. Hiya, struggling a bit with the changes. Yeah, well, that's thing absolutely par for the course, that, mate. You will struggle a bit at first. Takes a bit of getting used to. Nothing ever good ever comes overnight, mate. So you've just got to work at it. But there's loads of other people on here who'll absolutely tell you that it's well worth it. It's well worth putting the effort in, mate, and it's well worth sticking to it. It'll make a massive difference to the way that you play darts in the end. It really will. Hi, Sky Kieran. You all right, lad? Sold to the hockey? Right, great stuff. As long as the thing of the audio is good, that's great for me. Simon Scott, hiya, mate. You all right? I think that's everybody. Neil Migalski, my Canadian dart player, in the house. Happy Sunday. We're trying to stay. Yeah. It's -40. -40 in Canada. Oh! And we think it's cold here at Finger. What was it the other night? -20 up in Scotland, which is very, very cold for us. Rodney Trotter. Sound quality is good, mate. Great stuff. Thanks very much, lads. Just have a bit of a chuck while a few more people come in. You'll have to forgive me if I'm not 100% today. I've got a bit of trouble with the old kneecaps. They don't like this cold weather at all. Derek Oliver. Hiya, mate. Rob Phillips. Hiya, buddy. All right? Shabba. It's my mate, Shabba. Hi, Dave. Hiya, everybody. Come on. Oh, just under wire. Oh, it's just over and all. Oh. Here's me. I thought I was going to get the old 9 there. 9? Has anybody noticed I've got the old school shirt on? Dynamite Dave's old school shirt. Pull it down a little bit there so as you can have a see. Do you know something that I've just noticed with this is this, I've just been chucking now, the sleeves are dead heavy on it. Something I never even thought about when I used to wear it all the time. Hiya Darren. You alright mate? Mark Layton, big up. Steve Mortimer. Hiya mate. Oh. I'll put the machine on just in case we're getting any super chats. The old machine will be going crazy there. So we've got the old 180 machine on, the old Russ Bray. If we get any 140s, that's Steve Lamore's job. Innit, Steve? Oh, just a Tunsky. Do, 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 do. Oh. Right, so what we're going to do tonight is let's see if we've got any questions in. Oh, nice one, Mark Layton. Yeah, thingy, I know, wheelchair data from Devon. Like I say, I'm in the middle of sorting that out. Hopefully when the weather breaks a bit, I'm going to get a bit more time in the man shed to develop the thing of the wheelchair Dynamite Dave mechanical throw to see if I can adapt it for the old wheelchair. Simon Scott's in there with the first one. Over we go. Yay! Buzzing. Yep, so like I say, get back. What happened there? I'm obviously playing somebody that I didn't know I was playing. But yeah, I'm going to get into the shed, well, once the weather breaks, because it's still minus here. And I'm going to carry on developing that Dynamite Dave mechanical throw from a wheelchair. So hopefully then I'll be able to understand the wheelchair dart players a little bit more. I'll have a bit more in-depth insight into it and what have you. And hopefully I'll be able to develop a Dynamite Dave way of doing things for wheelchair darters. Right, so yeah, well, it's like I say, without going into too much detail on air, I understand about muscle wastage and all that sort of stuff. As I have said, I do, if I'm going to do something, I try and do it right. So I try and get as many of the facts as possible. So the one thing that I will definitely do is I will come to you for some advice. When I actually get into it properly, what I'll do is I'll get you on Zoom and me and you will have a bit of a chat and you can tell me like what thing your insight into, what difficulties you have, what advice you would be able to give me, and etc, etc, and you'll be able to put me right up there on all the rules and the heights and all this and the other. I've got a good idea how high the dartboard is, etc, etc, but I obviously need to know how it's set out for hockeys, how that works with a wheelchair. Is it different everywhere you go like it is in some competitions? Would the development of a front wheel positioning lock to lock you in onto the hockey or something of that sort of ilk, would that actually make things better or easier? Or because I don't know whether wheelchair dart players, I would imagine some of them throw with the lock, with the wheels locked, some may be unlocked. Don't forget, it's all, a lot of it is all, as with everything, it's all personal preference, but I don't know whether, until I look into it and I get my head around it properly, where I can make some improvements in that, but I'm sure I can. Derek Oliver, hiya mate. First live chat with you, Dave. Watch loads of your videos. Looking forward to it. It's dead informal, mate. If you've got any questions, get them in on that finger, that board thing there, and the chat thing there, and I'll answer them for you. No problem. If you want to bang a super chat in there, feel free to do that. You'll get a big shout out and what have you. One big shout out that what I'll do before I go any further, and we're going to review some darts in a minute. I'm going to let the chats go. So there's no point in piling loads of chats in while I do this little bit of a review, for the simple reason is I won't be able to keep up with you because I've got nobody doing it with me, sort of thing, if you know what I mean. So yeah, massive shout out to Dave Cummins. He's just become my latest patron, so he's done a monthly subscription on the Patreon. Absolutely fantastic, Dave. Thank you so much, mate. Makes a massive difference, it really does. And all of you guys are helping me to get to that goal. And like I say, once that goal is achieved, I'll be able to do this for you every day like a job. That's my ambition, is basically to turn this into my full-time job. Right, so hiya Paul, Starman, absolute Starman. Hiya Paul. Mark later. I throw with the wheels locked. Yeah, well, like I say, have to forgive me, I've got a bit of it as well. Don't worry, it's not COVID. It's I think a lot of it is because I've had a couple of beers. I've been off for the last few days off work, and I've drank a bit more lager than I normally do, and I think I've been doing the old bull seal impression in the middle of the night, and it's all the phlegm's got stuck on my chest and in my throat, because I've been snoring like a pig, as my wife says, as she quietly taps me on the back of the head with a rubber mallet to wake me up and stop me from snoring. Right, lads, so here we go. Or lads and lasses, I should say. Tonight's review, little bit of a review. Obviously, like I say, it's not massively technical because we can't do any of the chopping or the editing or anything, and it's for the Michael Van Gerwen Actives. Now, these are part of the end of month free prize draw, donators giveaway, the free donators giveaway. I'll get my head around what to call it one day, you know. Right, but you all know what I mean. Right, so we took the packaging off. The packaging is as it usually is. Let's get over here so we can actually get it in view. The packaging is the usual Winmau stuff. Really decent packaging. I like, to be honest with you, the more simple types of packaging myself. For the simple reason is I think they're more recyclable and they take up less room in the bin, take up less landfill. This is like a foam tray which contains some stems, the barrels themselves, 2 sets of flights, and a load of spare stems here. So there's a load of spare stems with them. So if you get these, it'll be a really nice set of darts to get these, Will. Right, so what we'll do is we'll take the barrels out and have a quick look at them and have a see what type of a grip they've got on them and how they feel. Right, so that is the barrel. Let's move it across a little. That's the barrel. So it's quite a medium to short length barrel. It's not got the sort of length on it that you'd expect. I would imagine that's somewhere around maybe just short of, or maybe 50 millimeters. It's got a nice medium point in it, black anodized point, and the grip is fundamentally very basic. We've got a bit of a dead spot in the middle with a single cut in it, and then we've got some ring cuts up the barrel. Right, so what we'll do now is we'll get them out of the thingy. Oh, nice one. You got a set of high impact 2s for 20 quid. Can you get me 10 sets? Do you know something? I would love it if Winmau turned around and said to me, Thingy, what we'll do is we'll change them from the high impact 2s into the Dynamite Dave darts. I'd be over the moon if something like that happened. Because I've got to say, they are fantastic. I really do. I have to say that. They are. Right, so what I'll do is I'm going to use the standard stems on these. What I'm going to do is, because the yellow, I'm going to use the yellow ones that Johnny Cree did for me with the yellow stems. So let's go and put them in here. Yeah, they are a good looking dart, and I think, you know something, I think with these stems and flights on them, you know, I think they're going to look, what do we call it? Say it in Manchester, mint. Going to look mint. Yeah, they do suit them. They do suit them. They do look nice with these in. I mean, to be honest with you, the Michael Van Gerwen, it's green, isn't it? But it is like yellowy green, if you know what I mean. The yellow, if you'll see in a minute, the yellow doesn't look out of place on them, which is what I would have expected. I would have expected the yellow to look a little bit out of place on the green, but they're not that far apart, and that's what it looks like built up. Let's get it over there in the middle of the camera. Might be a good idea. Which is a bit strange because looking at that, it's off to one side. When I'm holding up in front of the camera, I'm off to one side of it, but it's right in the middle. Well, there you go. That's what they look like. Nice, dandy looking dart. Let's have a see how balanced they are and see how well they chuck. Does buying these professional dart players' darts improve your play? Not at all, mate. No, in a word. Not a chance. Not a bad first 3 darts, that is it? Can you see that, everyone? It's only a Tunsky, but you know what I mean. It's decent grouping. Grouping's not too bad. Not bad for the first 3 out of hand. And to be honest with you, this is great. This because now when you watch the videos and I'm actually doing them, you actually know now that I'm not making it up and I'm not doing it because it's perfect. It's 100% live. This is live broadcast, so you know for a fact I can chuck the darts the way I say that I can. Hiya, Jack Thomas. Hiya, mate. You all right? They're a bit heavier, these, than they think, than the, or should I say they feel a bit heavier than they actually, what are they, 24s? Do you know something? They feel a little more substantial than a 24. If somebody asked me what these were, I would have guessed at 25 to 26. Oh, dear me. That's better. Oh. Now, what I'm getting from them is I'm getting a decent level of grip. The grip's quite good because even though the gaps are not massively wide apart, they're a decent distance apart. So you do actually get that very slight feeling of drop into the thing, into the actual dart barrel itself between the grips. And that for me feels like not ultimate control, but better controlled. They feel more controllable if I can get a good grip of them. Right, what's this one? Callum Reston. Hiya, mate. You all right? Top man. Hiya, Dave. Oh, mate. Thanks so much. You know something, that says that, and I'll make sure, right, when I've finished with them, if that's all right with you, I'll make sure some young lad gets them, or young girl, of course. But I'll make sure somebody who's less fortunate than we are will end up getting them at some point in a giveaway or something like that. Hopefully next time I go to Stockport Disability Darts, or maybe another disability association around the country when we actually are not being locked down anymore. But that's lovely. That, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate that. Excellent. Yes, what I'll do is I'll review the darts, I'll review the flights, and I'll put the darts and the flights together and see how the actual fly as a combination as well. $55. Right. Tell you what we'll do is we'll have a little bit of a go around the board with them, shall we? 1, 2, 3. Double 4. Oh, missed the 9. Disgraceful. How do you miss a big number like that? No, that's what we're on. 9. Oh, come on. Yep. Back to double 4. This is only a question from Darren. Sorry if I missed the odd question. Thanks very much for back on that. If I'm chucking at the same time, that's probably why I'm not chucking as well as I can. Is that again sorted? What causes it? Sometimes. I think, if I remember rightly, I'm not sure. I think, like I say, 50% of that players. What I'm going to do is play. So that's what when you're letting go of the dart, if you're releasing a split second too early, it's going off into the 1 or the 5, depending on which handed you are, and vice versa the other way around. If your arm is over, it's the difference between just above the 60 and just below the 60, right in the middle of the 60. So as I said the other day, what would you rather have, 26 or a ton? So that's the difference. And I've done this a few times. Chris Mason's done it a few times, and it's what we call throwing down the line. So basically throwing a straight line. You don't have to outside your you want to do like a practice job. So you pull your arms across the board. Ryan Parr. Hi Ryan mate, you alright? Have you ever tried a unicorn dartboard? Oh, a unicorn dart? Yes, I have had unicorns. Sure I have. I think so anyway. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I can't remember. Can't remember whether I had unicorns. I must have had. I must have had. Oh, I did, yes. Ian Diamond White. Aren't they unicorns? The Ian Diamond White ones, the Maestros, unicorn Maestros. I had a set of them a while back, and I did a review on them. So if you go back, you'll find that in one of the old reviews. So, Dave, sound's gone. What? Sound's gone. Is it still gone? Right, is it back again? Because I'm getting it good and strong on here. On my sound machine, it says that it's right. Back on again. Right, so try that now. All right now. Have I come back? Scratchy. Right. 1 2 1 2. Is that any better? Is that a little bit better? Is the sound better now? Because it could just be the finger. The YouTube, we've had problems with it a couple of weeks ago. It's not this side because finger me internet and everything is absolutely, it's breaking up a lot. Very scratchy. Right, how's that? Is that any better? Working now. Scratchy working now, maybe. Connections are solid. Clayton B, yes. Norman, yes, yes. So everything's good now. Yeah, like I say, I'm pretty sure that it's down to YouTube because, like I say, the Wi-Fi here is wall to wall. It's never dropped a bar from thinking. I'm running my actual bit rate at about a third of like what the internet here can carry. So it should be all right. I mean, I could have a lot better quality video and what have you, but you'd be running up near the bit rate. Working perfect now, Dave. Yep. Mic is crackling, pal. Seems to go once you've played with the things in your pocket. Perfect now. Right. So basically, yeah, that's what it is. Plus the other thing is, don't forget, it's a cheap one off Amazon. It's not a thing in £100 radio mic. It's a cheap one because I didn't want to go out and spend, especially when I've already spent £1,000 on a laptop and some other bits and bobs. I didn't really have any money to spend on a dead deer radio mic, but we'll get there with it, as I've said, over the next couple of weeks, because you people are so fantastic, and the contributions that you make. In a couple of weeks' time, I should be able to buy a proper, decent, light radio mic, and then it should be all right from then on with a bit of luck. Dave, once lockdown is over, will you be doing face-to-face? Oh, yeah, too right. I've got a list as long as my arm of people who think you were like on a backlist for coaching. It might only take me a couple of weeks to get rid of it, but soon as the lockdown ends, I'll have plenty of people. Yes, oh yeah, I'll be doing face-to-face again. One of my favourite things in life, that is, to be honest with you. Having people here up in the studio, doing a bit of coaching and what have you. Everybody who comes here seems to love it, and I love doing it. So yeah, definitely. Please explain again. Treble what? T1 and T5. What's that? You mean when you're drifting over into the ones and the fives? That's basically what it is you need your arm vertical. If your arms are horizontal, all it is as you come over, if you release a split second too early, if you've got a little bit too less arm speed, or you release a little bit too early, a little bit too much arm speed, release too late, what you're going to do is, because your arm's over like this and you're going across, if you release early, the dart goes off to one side. This is exaggerated, very exaggerated, because obviously it's only a matter of an inch at the board, or half an inch at the board. But very exaggerated is, as your arm chops through, if you release slightly early, the dart obviously will not be going towards the board, it'll be going off. So what happens is, as you release, the dart goes off to the 5. A lot of the time what you'll do is you'll try and correct it and you'll release slightly early, and there's your 1. But if you get it vertical, the difference you will have will be between, it'll be straight down the line, so they'll go in the 20s anyway. All of them will go in the 20s, so you're more or less guaranteed a 60. And in most pubs, that'll win you 90% of your games. If you can return 60 after 60 after 60 when you're playing, you win most of your games in most pubs. And like I say, if you're coming straight over the top, if you release a tiny little bit early, all that means is your dart is going to go slightly above the 60. If you release a tiny little bit late, it's going to go slightly under the 60, but you're still looking at a ton or 60 or 140 rather than a 26 or a 66 or even an 11. So yeah, right, great one in there, Dave. Thanks very much, Dave. How's it going? Hey, it's going really great with you lot. You absolutely, you humble me every week. You really do. I really appreciate every penny that comes in, because it really does help. And it doesn't only help me, it helps other underprivileged dart players as well, and the youngsters. Right, so let's go over and give Dave a 180. Smashing. Thanks very much for that, Dave. Thanks very much. Hey? Ooh. There's the one. 81. Puts me on my way to it. 81. Right. Oh, come on, David. Oh, miles away. Leaves me 32 anyway. 28. 28. So I'm trying to read these things as well as Chuck. Mark Kennedy's drawback and bad muscle memory, please, Dave. Well, bad muscle memory is because a lot of people, what you're trying to do is, instead of coming right back, what a lot of people are doing, because they're throwing in front of the face. Can I do it from this side? I'd rather do it from this side. That's better. Right, so what they're doing is, instead of coming right back and bouncing the muscle, that's where you'll get your muscle memory from and become really, really consistent at hitting your 180s and stuff, is by getting the same thing and the same backswing as you do every time. And the way to do that is just by bouncing your your forearm on your bicep. So as you come back, that will give you exactly, you look at me, and my drawback is exactly the same every time. And that's why, because as you can see there, if you just relax and just let it go, it just bounces on your arm. And that's just another little bit of a magic tip for you about muscle memory. Because a lot of people, what they're doing, because they're coming in front of the face here, like this, look, arm at an angle, straight away, and the only throw you've got is from here to here. Mine comes right here at the side of my head, so I've got a lovely long swing. So I've got a slow swing with loads of power in it, because I've got that extra delivery distance for my arm to go before I release the dart. Right, whatever you do, if you're on John Cullen's darts, new darts from Windmill, favourite darting YouTuber. Yeah, of course I will, yeah. Joe Cullen. I'll remember that. Joe Cullen, I'll have a look tonight on the what do you call it, see if I can get a set. Johnny B, I'm still struggling ever so slightly with the grip, but it's my own finger getting in the way. Which finger, fella? Which one's getting in the way? See, the thing is, it's a shame about this, because it'd be great if the chat there, if you were able to put a photograph in it, because it's really, really difficult for me to do things for individuals in an individual way if I can't see what you're doing. That's the only downfall of doing what I do, and that's why I offer the services of, like, the face-to-face coaching, the videos, so the video coaching, the online coaching, because I need to see what you're doing to put it right for you. So I know that's an expense, and it might be an expense that you can't afford, which is a real shame. But like I say, if I see you and Clayton B and loads of other people that have had videos or come here for coaching will tell you, I'll change the way that you do things. I'm not frightened of changing you. You go to a lot of places for coaching and they won't change it. All they'll do is they'll just, like, dance around what you're doing wrong and just, like, try and say, oh, just try and do this, just try and do that. I will fundamentally change what you're doing. And I have no qualms about doing that whatsoever for anybody. All right, ground is the key, certainly is. Fucking chat out. Yeah, don't worry about that, fella. I know it's Sunday. I've probably changed it in the live stream, because it says there a Chuck and a Chat live where I'm looking at it. But if it's come out on yours as Friday nights, I changed it on Friday for Fridays because it was the first time I'd ever done it. So what I'll do is I'll just change it back to a Chuck and a Chat live from now on, or something like that. One thing you will learn with me, mate, I'm not very good at technical stuff. Well, that sort of technical stuff. I'm all right at body mechanics technical stuff, engineering technical stuff, but computers and stuff like that, they run rings around me. That's why I'm struggling with this microphone and stuff. I'm not the best at computers and phones and stuff like that. I'm one of these, it takes me a while to get something sorted, but once I've got it straight in my mind, I know exactly what I'm doing and I can do it without even thinking about it. But with that sort of stuff, it does take me some time. Again, with making decisions on stuff, what I'll do is I never rush into something. And it's not because I'm not frightened of taking a chance, because I'm not frightened of taking a chance at all. But I'm not prepared to do something reckless without thinking it through first. Right, I go through stages. I can throw great, hit 60 averages, and then go through a spell dipping back down to a 44 average. Really annoying, because I know I have the, but yeah. Well, the thing is it's more than obviously, Ryan, I've not seen your thing, I've not seen you throw, so it's quite possible that you've got like, I mean, look what happens to Dave Chisnall, loads of them. There's quite a few of them. You've got Henderson, John Henderson. He's got a bit of a not a strange throw, but his own throw, shall we say. Dave Chisnall, same thing. He does a thrutch a bit like Jockey Wilson. It's his own throw. Unfortunately, it's not consistent. And the people who are consistent are people like Gary Anderson, who throws nothing like me, but his throw is mechanical, and it's absolutely rock solid the way he does it. If you watch the way that he throws, each and every arm delivery from him is exactly the same. If you look at Dave Chisnall, each and every arm delivery to the board is different, and that's where your consistency comes from. So it could possibly be that, but without actually seeing you, very difficult to say. Oh, and one thing that you do have to get straight in your mind is you need your B game to be one step below your A game and not 10 steps below it. Because then you know you've got a good, if you've got a good B game to rely on, it makes a massive, massive difference. Which starts are those? Oh, these ones, these are the, what's its faces? These are Michael Van Gerwen. Actives. These ones. Let's get it across here, them ones. And those will be in the end of month donators free draw. So if you fancy these, which I'm pretty sure, Dave, you're already in half a dozen times anyway, if I know you, mate. There you go. Simple as that. I've been talking to you for 5 minutes. No warm-up throws or anything. Straight into a 140. And with a set of darts I've never thrown before 10 minutes ago. And I've only had what have I had with them? 4 visits maybe? Something like that. Oh, James Wade. See, Mr. Consistent. Another left hooker, you see, like me. He has got, he's like Anderson. He doesn't have like what I would class as like my sort of mechanical throw, because he turns it back towards his eye and then delivers it out. And he uses a fair bit of his fingers. Oh, mate. Cheers, Dave. Thank you very much, mate. Head on over before we carry on. Are we ready?
No score.
Ooh,
Computer,
that's not good, is it?
150.
Hang on a minute. There we go. That's more like it. Are we ready? Oh, Russ Bay's gone off. He's done one on us. We've got to get this on.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg dynamite to throw. Game on.
Well, you can call it dynamite. He is Dave, isn't he? Ready? Here we go.
180.
Cheers, Dave, mate. Absolute star. Absolute star. Right, so as I said, set of darts that I've not used before. Right, let's get back up here where that question was. Where are we? Right, Andy Robertson. Now, remind me, I was talking about something before I went over there. Somebody remind me of what I was talking about. Told you, I'm like your gran. I remember, I go through everybody's name in the family before I get to the right one. Right, Andy Robertson, would you ever do a merchandising run of flights, patches? Right, I already have, well, I haven't got any in stock anymore. The patches and the flights are out. The manufacturing company that make the patches, the Dynamite Dave, most of you guys out there will have seen them. The Dynamite Dave logo patches. So they are this one that I've got on here. Let's get it up to the camera. See if you can see it. That one. There. I have them there iron on, and they'll go on your dart shirt and what have you. I'm thinking I've put an order in. I put an order in, must be 6 or 8 months ago. But with the lockdown, they put them all on furlough, you see, because it's not like vital or anything like that. The flights, I'm hoping that BVD are going to sort me out some flights, and so that merchandising will be coming along. Streamlabs do merchandising, so once I go to premium, I've got to do so many streams before I can go on there, like, so you can pay by credit card and what have you with them. So then when you're donating, you'll be able to do exactly the same as you did with 8Pal. You'd be able to go on there and just put your card number in, and then that'll go through for donations. And then once that's sorted out, what I'm going to do is I'll start some merchandising. So they do t-shirts, mugs, caps, all sorts of stuff. But they'll be obviously be my designs. So we'll get our heads together. Between a lot of us, we'll have a talk about it on here and what have you, and some people can put their ideas forward, because I'm sure there'll be some graphic designers out there and what have you that would like to get involved. So that'd be absolutely fantastic, and then we can design between us some t-shirts and some flights and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll do a merchandising run, definitely. Right, Dave Winmix for the yeah. You're in the draw about 4 or 5 times, I think, up to now. I think I'll have to give you a draw of your own. Great stuff. Right, David Bowie. I sometimes struggle with concentration. Any tips for between throws? Breathe yourself down, mate. It's like, do you remember Peter Kay? Garlic bread? Right, well, that's your finger. That for him was a nirvana, wasn't it? Well, your nirvana for darts, mate, is breathing yourself down. If you can teach yourself how to do it. I was taught how to do it in martial arts when I was a young lad, and it's a bit like hypnosis. A lot of people think it's a load of rubbish. It isn't. It really isn't, and it makes a massive difference. And all breathing yourself down is like a form of meditation. All that is self-hypnosis. That's all meditation or breathing yourself down. Basically, what you're doing is you're getting rid of all the anxiety out of your body, and if you can learn to do that in a crowded environment, it'll just make your game 1,000 times easier than it is. Won't make your actual physical ability any better, but it will make your mental ability a lot better. Ton run. He just turns around and drops a 140. Yeah, well, it's like I say, I've not like been throwing with them for hours and hours. That was about my 4th throw. When those great big meteors come out, that video will come out either later on tonight or tomorrow, and I tell you what, that will absolutely cement for you. These are, with the flights and stems, 51 grams. I've weighed them. The 51 grams with the flights and stems in, and I think it was my 3rd or 4th visit with them was a biggie. Let's just say that. And the mechanical throw means I can go from 18 gram darts, 16 gram darts, right the way up to now 51 gram darts, and just pick any set of darts up and throw 140s with them, 100s, and I think with the big ones, the meteors that's coming out later, I even have a leg with them. I have a leg with those darts, and they are, let's just say, not very easy to throw, but it's one of them, like I say, when you've got a mechanical throw, it just works. It just works. Aidan Green, how much is a video coaching session? $39.95, mate. So like I say, not the end of the earth. It's not dead expensive. And I think, and the good thing with the video is the awesome thing with the video is, and it's really good as a starting point. The thing, if you come for one-to-one coaching, or we do one-to-one coaching online via Zoom or something like that, do it via video messenger, Zoom, WhatsApp, any format. We've got loads of formats we can use, but the best first step is a coaching video, and I've just filmed 2 before I came on here tonight. One for Rio Roswell. So if you're out there, mate, I've done one for him tonight and another one, and they're a really good first step. For the simple reason is I watch what you're doing. What you do is you send me your videos, I analyze them, so I sit and watch them. Then what I do is I film a video for you. During that video, what you do is section 1, right? Section 1 is the analysis. So what I do is, you've got a screen like I've got here, and what I'll do is I go through I project you up in the corner, other way. I project you up in a corner, up there, and what I do is, as you're throwing, I explain to you where I believe there's improvements that can be made. It's not a question of right or wrong, but I'll tell you where I think that some improvements can be made in your throw. Then what I'll do in section 2 is, that's what we call the putting it right section, or what I like to call change to improve, because without change there can be no improvement. It's like that very, very famous Einstein saying, The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you don't change anything, nothing changes. It's as simple as that. So what I'll do, section 2, is thingy change to improve. So what I'll do in that is I show you how to get from where you are now to being able to throw your darts consistently in a consistent and simple manner. And then what we do is we go over into section 3, which is what I call the demonstration throws. Now this is pretty much of a secret, this, because nobody, apart from the people who have actually had coaching videos or people who have inquired about them, have any idea of what the format is. But I'm telling you what the format is now, probably releasing one of my trade secrets. Well, the third section is what I call the demonstration throws. So as the young man just says there, he's just dropped to 140. I think, and I do a new thingy demonstration throw for each and every video that I do. It's not the videos, there's some small videos that are in it, that are in the actual coaching thing itself, that show you a lot more in depth and a lot more, how can I put it, more targeted, how to get your feet and all that sort of stuff and get everything right. But when we're coming towards the end and we've got the demo throws, I think there was one a couple of weeks ago where he hit back-to-back 180s. There's loads of them with 180s in them, loads of them with 140s in them, loads of them with treble bulls in them, loads of them with 171s in them, loads of them with big finishes. So it's just all depends on the day. Obviously, there's some of them there where, but for my standard, I say that I couldn't hit a barn door with a pig. But there is some ones that are out there that are very, very special indeed. So very special. I think there was one that I did a couple of years ago, and I did a 10-darter. I actually did a leg in it, and I threw a 10-dart leg in it. So they can be quite special, and they're very, very individual. They're all absolutely targeted towards whoever is actually whoever's commissioned the video. And also in the demonstration throws at the end, what I do is I show you how to move the Dynamite Dave throw around the board, which is a small part. It's very, very easy to do, but it's a big part of so as you can keep your throw the same. The Dynamite Dave way means that your throw stays exactly the same no matter where you're going on the board. How many people throw at the treble 20 and throw totally different at the treble 19? Whereas with the Dynamite Dave way, it's just a little bit of an adjustment, and you can throw at the 19s exactly the same way as you do at the 20s, the double 16, the double 11, and that's why Dynamite Dave doesn't care. If I want 60, I'll go for 2 15s, 2 double 15s, and I'll hit them. For the simple reason is I'm that confident in the throw. And so will you be if you adopt it. Right, let's see. Now I've had, there you go, see, off on a bit of a waffle. Sometimes struggle with concentration between throws. Yeah, like I say, breathing's a massive thing to do. You'll feel yourself. How can I explain this? I say I'm going back round in circles and back to it again because I've thought of something else. If you feel yourself like not welling up like you want to cry or out like that, that's not what I mean. But you'll feel your anxiety well up, like it's raising up in your body, like it's raising up through you, and then all of a sudden your arms start to go tight and what have you. If you're suffering with concentration, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. That's what your breathing does. What your breathing does is it sends that back down again, so it sends it away. Rather than it building up in you, it means that you can keep that at bay and keep it either right down in your legs, or you can dispel it altogether. Another thing, it's just like I say, it's like the stuff that I learnt when I was doing martial arts when I was a youngster. I tell you, very, very invaluable stuff. Very invaluable stuff. And the thing is, it goes right the way throughout life. A lot of the stuff that I do and I teach in darts can be changed and used right the way throughout your life for different things. Like coping with relationships, coping with trouble at work and stuff like that. Like at work, if I ever have any problems where I have to go and speak to management and what have you, I look forward to it. I'm not frightened of anything. It's just something that you find if you've got that inner peace within yourself, that you don't mind conflict. I don't mind conflict, because at the end of the day, it's just a way of sorting things out, innit? You know what I mean? I don't mean like armed conflict. I mean like when you've got to have an argument with somebody, or I like debating. I like stuff like that, and I've been thinking about starting another YouTube channel called Dynamite on Life, and talk about life stuff and that sort of thing as well. But who knows? Might happen, might not. Johnny Baby, I'm pretty sure he could 140 with both eyes closed. What, you mean do a thing in Adrian Lewis? Oh, another one in. Kenny O'Rourke, 15. Cheers, Kenny. Nice one, mate. Absolutely fantastic. Sorry about that. The chat wasn't going up on its own. I've just clicked it again now and it's shot up like a frigging rocket. So I missed that, mate. Really sorry. Over to the board. Oh, not again. This thing keeps turning itself off, doesn't it? What's it doing? Are we ready, Kenny?
180.
Yes. Thank you so much. Right. Thanks, Ken. Starman. When you do them, Ken, get a question on it. Get a question on it. Cheers, Dave. Since I started watching your videos, my average has gone from 60 to 80. So hopefully with concentration, it'll go higher. Yeah, of course it will, mate. I don't know whether you saw the video I put out the other day. I mean, it was only one leg, but it was just off the spur of the moment. No warm-up or nothing. It was 107.4. And that was with darts that I think it was with darts that I'd never used before. Was it them Barney ones or something? It was some darts anyway. Just picked them up and started chucking with them. Had about, I think it was 4 or 5 visits. Then just went straight into a leg. I think it was 107.4. But it's there. The video's out there. It's the last one that I put out. But yeah, your averages will go up, mate. But as with anything, and with what I say all the time, is it won't happen overnight. Nothing ever good comes easy, or nothing that will last that's good comes easy. I mean, it's like a car. If you're when you're a teenager, if you're given a car for free for nothing, you're not really bothered about it because you've not had to work to get it, and it's just been awarded to you basically for no. Whereas when I was a kid, I had to buy my own first car. I had to scrimp and scrape. Same things with that, but we came from a very, very poor background, so that was understandable. And I never forget my older brother, our kid, our Roy. His favourite thing was, and he saved up, right? He must have been 7, maybe 7 or 8, so I'd have been 5 or 6. And he saved up for months and months and months to buy, believe it or not, a sleeping bag. And that sleeping bag was like brand new 10 years after he bought it because he looked after it. Every time he'd used it, he used to roll it up and put it up at the end of his bed. Just like, it's one of them things, like I say, anything that you work hard for, you tend to appreciate a lot more. And I think that's right throughout life, to be honest with you. Right, where are we now? Best darts coach on the platform, Barno. Well, thanks very much. Really, thanks very much. All I am is I'm just a working class lad like you. I'm saying, yeah, you might be a multi-millionaire, but I'm just a working class lad from Manchester I've always liked coaching, as I've explained on the live streams and through my other videos. I've always loved teaching people stuff, like I did when I had my own garage years and years ago. I used to love teaching people how to do bits on cars, like points, plugs, all that sort of stuff. Everything down to changing tyres. I used to have a tyre machine and get the lasses in there. They used to love it, absolutely love it. They used to come up on a thing on a Thursday night, and we used to spend 2 hours, and I used to teach them how to change tyres. We'd have a thing, an engine there with a rocker cover off it, and I'd teach them how to do valve clearances and all that sort of stuff. Stuff that they'd probably never use again in their life, but some of it they would have done, changing points and stuff like that. But that's showing how old I am, that is. Right, where are we? Tonight. A draw tonight? No, mate, it's the thing of the 25th. It's the 25th. I don't know whether you're au fait with what's happened over recently. This is Dean Brown. I don't know whether you're au fait with what's happened, but it used to be on the 15th of every month. The Christmas one was on the 25th. Shortly after Christmas, somebody threw an hand grenade into me world by bubbling me to Al. And say bubbling me, I wasn't doing anything wrong as far as I knew. And all they said to me was, Finger, you've gone against the guidelines, our guidelines, community guidelines, that's it. You've gone against our community guidelines by having a raffle, and that's you finished, basically. There was no ifs, no buts, no babies, no appeal, no nothing. It was just, that's it. We've closed your account. Oh, and by the way, the money that's in there, you're going to have to wait 6 months for it. And that's what I've got to do, is I've got to wait 6 months for my own money out of the account. And that's just the way it is. But yeah, everything's carrying on. It's not the same as it was, because it's not a raffle anymore. It's nothing like that. What we're having now is we've had to convert it all, and everybody who donates, no matter which way they donate, so it doesn't matter if you do a super chat, it doesn't matter if you donate through Skrill, which is on your screen there, it doesn't matter if you donate through Streamlabs, which is above my head, the thing they're writing above my head there, that's the Streamlabs. If you go on there, everybody who puts into the channel will be considered, yeah, in exactly the same way as before. They will be considered for the end of month donators free prize giveaway. So that is as explanatory as I can make it. So that's what's happened, unfortunately. So that'll be on the 25th. So we've got another 10 days from now, and then that will happen. The next 2 months, I'm going to be doing it in the same format as I did last time. So it'll be done at 12 o'clock on the 25th. So that's when it'll go out. It'll be broadcast out on the 12th, on the 25th at 12 o'clock. And then after that, we might be changing it to the last Sunday of every month. And if we do that, it'll be drawn live on here. So it'll be drawn live on the thing, on the actual show on a Sunday evening. Right. Coaching, video coach. It is. Tell you what, I get a lot of them, mate. All you've got to do is send me an email. Everybody should know what my email address is by now. It's dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. That's dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. And I'll send you all the details of everything, the way you pay and the way that you send me your videos and all that. All that's included in that thing, in that email. So it makes it all dead simply explained and everything. So it's dead easy to do. And then all it is it takes, they run at about a week to 10 days. It takes a week to 10 days to turn it round. Because what a lot of people won't realise is there's about 4 hours work in it. There's about 4 hours work in every video. So that's including getting your videos, sitting down and watching them, analysing the videos, then the filming, then the editing, then the producing, and then they're sending it to you. So it's about 4 hours worth of work. So I think at what I'm charging for them, $39.95, I think it's an absolute bargain myself, to be honest with you. And I hope it is anyway, because that's the way I want it. I want it affordable for everybody. Right, what's that? Oh dear, where's he gone? Throwing hundreds. Yeah. Dean Brown, yeah. Mats are terrible things. I've never met a mat, or I've never seen a mat, or I've never had a mat that stayed where it's meant to flaming well stay. You start throwing at it and you're walking backwards and forwards, and it walks its way to the board. Loads and loads of times when I've been to the UK Open, and come here, I'm still nursing these. I've been to the UK Open, and in the sports bar they've got 2 dartboards, woeful pieces of thing. Then last year it was. Yeah, we did go last year. Last March we went, and I took 2 brand new boards for them. Put 2 brand new boards up, hoping that it'd shame them, but it didn't. They weren't interested in the slightest. So, and the boards that were in there when we went, that I know for a fact were 3 or 4 years old. Absolutely disgraceful. But there you go. Not a lot you can do about it. But like I said, I took 2 brand new boards there, but they had mats on the floor, and you put them down, you get them in the right place, and 6 or 8 visits later, they've walked themselves up 2 inches. So yeah, no. What you want, and I've got, I don't know whether you'd be able to see it. You probably would be able to see it. If you looked in any of my videos, you'll see my hockey. What I've got down is I've got a carpet runner. You know what they put up the centre of stairs? Those fancy carpets that they put up the centre of a set of stairs. I've got one of those on the floor, measured out, and at the end, sorry, I've just got to get something off the screen because I can't see what's going on. Yeah, so what I've got is a carpet runner cut to the right length, and then I've got a door threshold at the end of it, which just about stands up just enough for me to catch my toe on it, so I know that I'm in the right place without having to look. I do look down here, And I tend to look down virtually everywhere unless there's a proper PDC inch hockey, you know, inch and a half hockey up. Then I don't. But right, who have we missed now? I've missed someone. Oh, Johnny B. $30. Thank you so much, mate. This means the world to me. It really does. Thank you so much. Absolutely over the moon with that, mate. Let's go and get you the 180 up. Are we ready? Are we ready?
180.
Mega. Thank you so much. Right, Game of Thrones. Good evening. Dave, have you done the 99 dart challenge on Russ Bray app yet? I've done it several times and hitting around 2,100 to 2,500. This could be a challenge for your subscribers. Upload. Yeah, brilliant that, mate. What do you call it? I've got a mini thing here, and I can go back to these afterwards. And yeah, I'll have a go at that for you. I've just done the, what do you call it? Matador. I think it's Matador or Mathios darts. Put a challenge out, and it's 10 minutes to do 3,001 or more. I've had about 3 goals at it now. My first goal I wasn't too impressed with, but I did have 2 maxes in it, to be honest with you, and I think that was 2,697 if I remember rightly. I've had 2 subsequent goals and my best one. So 10 minutes worth of throwing at 60s, and my best one was 3,627 is my best one up to now. But I'm hoping that I can top the 7,000. No, sorry, the 4,000. I'm hoping that I can top the 4,000. If I can top the 4,000, I'll put it up. So that should be pretty good, that. Or 4,001. If I can do that, I'll be extremely pleased. But there was a lot in both of those where there was some like really poor throws, you know, like 41s and like quite a few 60s and what have you, 1 or 2. I think there was one where I actually got a 26 as well. So I think there's massive room for improvement in it. So yeah, I'll have a go at that, definitely. Paul Boardman, hiya Paul, mate, you alright? Just a tip on the mat. I stuck Velcro all over the bottom of mine. Don't move at all. Yeah. Obviously, there's always ways round things. If you like a mat. But I like this carpet because it's like a mat. It doesn't wear through or anything. It's, what do you call it? It's nicer to walk on than bare floor because it's all wood in here. That's why it sounds like I've got my head in a bucket. And there's not a lot I can do about it. Well, there is, but it means I'm going to have to put a carpet down. But hopefully we'll get round to that in summer maybe. What I might do in summer is, this is one of the back corner bedrooms in the house. There's only me and the missus now, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to angle so as I can get the front bedroom. If I can get that, it's a lot bigger. So if I can get that, I can have a carpet down and what have you. And what I was thinking of was like they do on the PDC, have a nice pea green carpet and then like maybe a red runner on it or something like that, and have like a feature wall for where I do my filming and what have you. So like I say, all the sort of stuff that's in the pipeline, you never know. She might let me, she might not. Right. Easily the most useful live stream I've ever come across. Thanks very much, mate. It's just, like I say, I'm just me. I've always been like this, mate, and I just absolutely love it. I love you guys. You support me so much. And it's the ultimate two-way street, isn't it? I've got something where I'm hopefully entertaining you on a Sunday evening, and my videos, you like my videos, you learn a bit from them, and in return you support me, and that's just absolutely fantastic. That I'm absolutely over the moon with it. Right, so shall we have another chuck with these Van Gerwins? Oh dearie me. Right, I think I might have even gabbed for too long there without chucking. Right. Oh, 100. I should start coming back now. Ton. 100. 100. Loving it. Game of Thrones. Fantastic name, that, mate. Really is. I misread it before. But yeah, Game of Thrones. That's a great name, that is. To keep the match straight, buy some nano gel tape. Is that nano gel tape? Is that stuff like the T-Rex tape? Is it like that two-sided T-Rex tape? So basically it doesn't destroy your carpet or anything, but anything you put down on top, if you put a mat down on top of it, it won't budge a millimetre. It's brilliant stuff, that thing, that T-Rex tape, because I think we did that. It was with a shark fin aerial for our kids' van. We put him a DAB radio in, I think it was last week, and the shark's fin aerial, the way that his van is, he's got carper. He goes all over the country carping, and what do we call it? The van is all kitted out, and where the aerial goes is the rod box, and it's steel. It's like not a steel, but an aluminium box that's inside, so you can't gain access to the aerial, the original shark's fin. So we left that on, and we put the new shark's fin at the back of it, and to get it on, we couldn't get it through because it was double skinned. And because it was double skinned, we could drill through with the hole saw, but you couldn't get a nut on the inside to get up towards the steel, so as you could like screw it down. So we used that Tyrannosaurus Rex tape on it, and I'll tell you something, you couldn't budge it afterwards. Dave, what's your view on players averaging 40 odd at Q School? Seems a waste of money to me. It's their money. At the end of the day, it's one of them. I'm a great believer, in everybody having a chance. I can't stand these elitist things that go on. I can't stand them. It's just that it's there. The PDC, it's theirs. It's not ours. It's a private company, so it's entirely up to them what they do. But again, it's entirely up to the fans what they pay for, in my opinion. Now, PDC Q School is a way into becoming a professional dart player. Now, if we go back to the 70s, right, where we had the Opens, the proper Opens, the Embassy, unlike in the 60s, the Embassy, it started off at the main venue with up to 500 or 600 players. And then they worked their way through, and everybody started at the bottom. There was none of this what they do now, where you've got Michael Van Gerwen and all that, where they all come in at the later stages. You ask Bobby George, he'll tell you, everybody started in the pubs and in the clubs playing to get to that stage. So did all the professionals. They had to do the same. Bobby George will tell you. And that, I think, is the proper way of doing an open competition like the UK Open. Again, that like riles me a bit, because you've got all the professional players coming in at the top end, so they get to take all the money. And you don't get the same people coming through. You might get the odd one, and it's engineered that way. It's engineered to make as much money as possible. That's what it's all there about, is prize money and making as much revenue as possible. Whereas I don't mind. I like going to the pub and watching two old blokes throw a 25 average. If they have a good game between themselves, I don't care about them hitting 140s and what have you. So yes and no. They should have like the professional side of it, which they've got. But I think it's gone that one step too greedy, because you've got the Players' Championship, you've got the World Cup, you've got competition after competition after competition, which is closed. So you've got the Premier League of darts, you've got 101 competitions that are a closed shop, and the one or two that are not a closed shop are sort of like going towards being a closed shop. It's like the way that they've changed the Q School now, and like you said about people going in with a 40 average, I think the best way to do it, and the way I would do it, is have preliminaries. you know, like we used to years ago. So like Steel City, which is the Sheffield, what they should have is they should have a qualifier in Sheffield, like they did with the Rileys, I suppose. But again, Rileys was depending on whether whether you had a Rileys in your local area. Like me, if I wanted to take, well, a couple of times I did take part in it, I had to go to Chester from where I am. They did have a Rileys, I think, in Cholton cum Hardy, but I don't think it was on there. The actual qualifiers, they were only in certain ones. I might be wrong, but if I'm remembering rightly. Tip. Right, where are we? Jeez, Dave. Okay, is on the wish list, yeah. Do you know something? It's pretty easy to make a proper fold down full length hockey. I mean, I won't do it here because of the grandkids, obviously. I don't want them falling over, but you can actually make one, you know, that folds against the wall, and it costs you 20 quid in wood, maybe 30 quid in wood, 20, 30 quid in wood. Dead easy to make. All you want is 3 lengths of 3x2 and some inch thick ply, and just make yourself a frame with an hinge in the middle. And that's all you do, just make it with an hinge in the middle, so as it comes away from the wall, it opens up like a pasting table and just drops on the floor. You walk on it till you finish with it, and then you just lift it up from the middle, and it concertinas in the middle like that, and then just sits up flat against the wall, and you have a peg that comes round and holds it against the wall. So there's one for you. I've made loads of them for pubs. Any quick tips on snatching at darts? Even in practice, I seem to snatch quite a bit. The only thing you can do, mate, is change your throw. Snatching is usually down to the way that you've learnt to play darts from day one. That's usually where it starts. As I've explained in a few of the live streams, we all start playing darts from watching people who are around us, developing our own throws, and then they sort of like stick with you for life. And to be honest with you, there's some star dart players out there that if they changed and and threw in a different way, they'd be 1,000 times better than they are at the moment. But they're stuck in the ways. I mean, I get a lot of that in the pub with the guys, the older guys that have been playing for years and years and years, and every one of them says, I used to be fantastic, and there's no reason why they can't be fantastic now. Bearing in mind, don't forget, I'm on my way to 60 years old, and I can throw at this level, so if I can do it, there's no reason whatsoever you can't. None whatsoever. Ashley. It's Ashley Calver. Got to say, I look forward to the live streams on Sundays. Cheers for the effort you put in. Mate, I think I enjoy it as much as you do, believe me. I love this. I just love being able to help people. Really do. And it's like, I mean, I'm not religious in any way, shape or form, but I just think it wasn't a gift that was given to me. It was something that I worked out for myself. I sat down and I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours over a 2.5 year period developing this. But wouldn't that have been, in my way of thinking, wouldn't that have been awful and selfish of me to keep that to myself? I mean, at the first, before those 2 lads got me onto YouTube and what have you, I didn't want to keep it to myself. Well, that's why I coached them in the pub. That's why I sort of like elbowed in on them and said, "Yeah, can I like give you a bit of advice on what have you?" Because it's in me. I just love helping people, and I love it when when somebody, I do my coaching video, or like you guys, some of you guys have tonight told me the difference that I've made to you, and that is that's what drives me. It's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to be able to make a living at this. I really would, and that's why I say it. And I always tell you the truth, and I'm always upfront with you. I never keep anything hidden or out like that. Anybody who asks me any questions, I'll tell you the truth. But unfortunately, sometimes you might not like it. But that's just the way I am. But what the thing, like I say, the ambition is to be able to do this for a living. But how fantastic would that be for me and for me fans if this time 5 years from now I could be on a plane to America and just turning up at somebody's front door, or go and do a little bit of a like road trip round America or somewhere like that. Don't matter, I'm saying America, it could be anywhere, Europe, Spain, anywhere. It could be anywhere, out of Mongolia, I don't care, Australia. just being able to turn up at her thingy at somebody who I've made a massive difference to them, what would it be like for them and for me, and as like a video and everything for everybody to watch of me turning up on the doorstep and, well, frightening the life out of them, basically, by me turning up. That's the sort of stuff I love to do, though. How's Dredge? Wow. Do you see a lot of him? No, because they've shut the pubs, haven't they? I think I'll let him. If you remember the dartboard we were on and the Halo light and that I put up in that pub, I put a brand new board up about 2 weeks before they closed. Sadly, if you remember the landlord, the big fella, Nigel, he died. He keeled over in the pub one night, had a heart attack, and unfortunately that was him gone. Great shame, because he was a lovely bloke, really, really nice bloke. And after that, his niece, who inherited the pub, wasn't really that interested in it. They opened it again. It closed. The brewery took it over, didn't take it over, but offered to run it for her. But they would take all the money out of it until she had a chance to sell it. And now, unfortunately, she sold it to developers. So I see if you look on, you'll find Dredge on Facebook, on my Facebook, if you want to get in touch with him, because I'm damn sure he'd be really, really pleased to hear from you, Steve. He really would, because he's a really nice bloke. But yeah, it's just one of them things now. So if you come over again, it'll be a different pub we'll be going in. It'll probably be the Queen's. Game of Thrones, biggest darts snatcher has to be Chizzy. Well, that's definitely arguable, isn't it? What about Jockey Wilson? What about Jockey? I think he's Dave Chisnell, I would say, is the biggest snatcher at the moment, yeah. But throughout Extra, we've had a few snatchers. We've had a few bad snatchers as well. Trying to think of who else. Leighton Reese wasn't a snatcher, but he was a pull the darts back and delivered them. There was a load of finger work in it. You tend to find people with a load of finger work or who stop at the back of the throw. They're the ones that I tend to find are the ones that end up with dartitis, which is a real shame. But it just seems to be going that way with the evidence that not evidence, because, you know what I mean, we're not going to court over it, but what my studies have found, the people who suffer with dartitis tend to be the ones that leave something in that throw where the brain can interfere, where your mind can get in the middle of what you're doing. That's why I have a rhythm to my throw. Or I developed a rhythm to it, and it's one that I won't be stopping anyway. Yeah, Riley's not in Ireland. Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. In the old days of and to be honest with you, I think it'd be great if someone like MAD or one of the other ones, WDDA, is it, the World Darts Association or whatever it's called? Yeah, it's WDA, and the World Darts Association. I know, Steve, it was a real sad dude. It was a really nice bloke, Nigel. Loved him to bits. He was a great fella. Can't count the amount of free pints I've had out of him, mate. I tell you, can't. He was a real star, absolute star. The only thing he wouldn't do was play darts with me, because he was the star of the pub in his earlier life, and the star of a few things and all. Yeah, he was a really good dart player. But obviously, when I came along, he hadn't played darts for years, and I think did he actually even pick a dart up to throw against me? I don't remember. I don't think so. Which is a shame. I'd have loved to have had a game of darts with him. Ryan Parr, could you do what Ronnie O'Sullivan did when he did a series in pool halls where he could play random people and staff, start off with his week and go back? Do similar. I could, yeah. I started off about 2 years ago, didn't I? Or was it just before the pandemic? Might have been 1 year ago. Or a year and a half ago. No, I'll tell you what it was. Just before I had my knee done, wasn't it? Started off throwing with my right hand. And I'd got not great with it, but the grouping was starting to come. And then I ended up they called me in to have my right knee done. And then after that, the rehabilitation was, because it was my right knee, throwing with your right hand means that you're actually putting the weight on your right leg. So, yeah, but now I don't see any reason why not. I have had a couple of offers in the past of going over to Ireland and doing some exhibitions and what have you. it's one of them, isn't it? If I'm going to do that, then it's do you take the leap or do you carry on with your day job? Because once I do that, I think once I do that, then that'll be it. It'll be a decision, and then it'll be all steam ahead. Then it'll be trying to get like appearances all over the place. And I tell you what's a good thing with this Streamlabs that I might consider doing possibly in a couple of months' time is they do a thing on it where you can do like a live show and people buy tickets. So basically it's like a concert, so it'd be exclusive. So what I was thinking of doing is maybe having 8 or 10 people and doing like an online coaching session where we have like a Zoom conference. So we've got 8 or 10 of us on Zoom, and then we've got me doing like a live broadcast like this to the 8 or 10 people, but then they can come back to me. I can watch the throws and I can coach like 10 people at a time. And then obviously I'd have to work out the costings and all that. But if you think that's a good idea, that's something that I'd be up for. Something that's just like floated through my mind a few times. Right, Sean Rogers. Hiya, Sean, mate. You all right? Take care. Just dropped over. Yeah. It's all right. It's me. I'm old. Stupid. The Friday chat thing. Yeah, we are live, and yes, it is Sunday. Like I say, I'm not very good with technical stuff, mate, but I'll sort that out for next week. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a universal title on it. So you've got people like Atomic Darts and that, and he can put, I can't even work out how to put like one of them things that he puts up, like a reminder, so everybody gets a reminder of when the live stream's going to be and how long it's going to be for and that, which is an hour, and we're an hour and 23 minutes in already, aren't we? Which is what we do every week, don't we? We start out with an hour and end up at about an hour and 45 minutes before my missus wants to come and drag me down to watch a movie. So, yeah. Can't do that Friday again. Oh, Paul is well. Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, things are starting to pick up again now after the debacle with APAL and the other things that have happened. But yeah, it's all starting to come back together again now. I had a couple of months where it was all very, very shaky, very shaky. But the thing is, that's the sort of stuff that you guys don't know about. It's the fights that you have behind the scenes. And to be honest with you, all it is it's jealous people, which is really, really sad. Because like I say, I'm only here to try and help people, and then you get vindictive SOBs that just want to try and tear you down because you're doing something nice for other people. You just get all twisted up inside and jealous and hateful and what have you, and it's really sad. I just think they're really sad. Clayton B, do you see many natural right-handers throwing left like me? No, mate. No, you don't. It's usually, Clayton, and I've had a few of these that think when they've had really, really severe dartitis, and I've changed them from being right-handed to left-handed. But you can tell, I could tell. I don't want to discuss your personal things on air in front of everybody. But some of the things that I pointed out to you was very obvious that you'd gone from being a natural right-hander to a left-hander. And so that's, with you think your positioning and some of your other things. But I'm telling you now, if you stick to that, mate, and I know it's a difficult road, because for some people are like, they'll pick it up and they'll be able to do it within the space of a week or 2 weeks, and other people like me, it took me 2.5 years to develop it. So if it took me 2.5 years and it takes you 12 months, then I think everything's fair in love and war. Andrew, hey, come back here. These things, they shoot up too quick. If you need any tech help and graphics, hit me up, mate. Tell you what, do I? I'd love to be able to do some of that stuff, like and maybe, what do you call it? I tell you what I'd like is like an intro. You know, like a lot of the other YouTube lads have got like proper intros, like animated intros. I'd love to be able to do something like that, or pay somebody to do something like that for me. But again, the only one that I know is Fiverr or something it's called. And I got on there and I asked somebody to do a logo for me when I first set out. and they spanked me backside for about 150 quid, and I got something off them that I could have drew myself freehand. So it was one of them, you just think, well, once bitten, twice shy sort of thing. So I'm a little bit dubious about going and spending a load of money that not getting anything back for it. Honest, seriously, you could not have used it. I'll tell you something, that one that my mate did for me, wherever it is. Where have you gone? Where have you gone? Where have you gone? She's got to be somewhere, hasn't she? There it is. See, my mate, can you see that? My mate drew that for me freehand, and that is a Rembrandt compared to that what I paid 150 odd quid for, 160 odd, 170 odd, or whatever it was with the frigging VAT. I had a sore bottom after they'd finished with me anyway. That was a fact. Right, Andrew McMahon. One of the inconsistencies in my game is when I'm throwing and I get an 85 or something, it's always the first or last dart that goes wild. That's alright, mate. That's called 2 at home and 1 away. What that is, it's a drop in concentration. It's a drop in focus. Try my breathing technique. So basically, throw like a sniper. Breathe out. If you go on to, not the last video, I think I put out the video before, and we talked about this last week. I think it was last Sunday, probably last Sunday. We talked about breathing and about expelling the air out of yourself while you throw. So try that, because a lot of the time, what's happening is as you're throwing the dart, if you're breathing in, just think about it, right? As you breathe in, your chest expands, doesn't it? And as your chest expands, if you hold your arm like that and breathe in, you can see your arms going in and out. So if you're throwing, so you throw one dart on the out breath, and then as you're throwing the next dart, you're breathing in, your chest's expanding, so your arm's going off all over the place. It's only a small degree, but that can be 1 away. So just something to think about, something worth thinking about that. Where are we now? Sean. That's that. Got the same issue with my channel now. Channel now, mate. Just looking to improve my game, but I've seen comments in groups slagging me off. Well, it's one of them. When I first started, I mean, this is obviously coming from a coach's point of view. You get all, I mean, I've got the credentials and the time behind me now, because I've been doing this on this channel for 5 years. If you don't know what you're talking about, there's no way you're going to have 6,500 followers. And like I am, since the beginning of this year, I've had 250,000 views, which is not massive in the YouTube game of things, because obviously you can do videos of cats licking their own ass and you're going to get 25 million views of it. But doing something like this, it's not the same. It's like instructional, and I had the same sort of thing. Who do you think you are? Never seen you on the telly, all this sort of stuff. But you just have to explain to them, like I did. You will not have seen me on the telly, because I don't go on the telly, and I don't want to go on the telly. And they say, well, what makes you think that you're really good at teaching people how to play darts? Well, in the early days, it was like I was building it up, so I couldn't turn around and say, what I do works, and I'm telling you it works, and I've got the evidence to back it up. I didn't have at the time, but I have now. All you've got to do is go back in the videos and what have you, and all the evidence is there. Thousands of people throwing the Dynamite Dave way now across the world. So when people slag you off in thingy chat rooms and stuff like that, there's only 2 ways you can do things, and there's one thing that you can never do. Never ever apologise for anything you've ever said. And never ever don't allow them to push you, because if you back down, right, or you put an apology out, it's like little children in a playground. If one starts, another one joins in, then another one joins in, and then you end up with a big pile on, And then that is where people end up with their lives destroyed and they end up committing suicide. So basically just stand up to them or say nothing. Doesn't matter what you've done, it doesn't matter how bad it is. On Twitter and YouTube, not YouTube so much, but Facebook and what have you, if you just stick with it, hold your nerve for a fortnight, they'll have forgot about you by then, mate. I'm telling you. So whatever you do, just don't think it. As I always say, no retreat, no surrender. And no apologising for anything you've said either, ever. Right, where are you, Neil? You alright, lad? How the hell are you, fella? Well, you know something? We still haven't done that thing. Oh, and I actually repaired the lad's car this weekend for the temp repair that I did when we missed our due. That was a flaming saga, I'll tell you. I had to put a new expansion tank on it today because the actual cap had seized in. We couldn't get it out. So I managed to bypass it and get some water into it for him to use it for a week or so, and then we've just had to do it this weekend. Yesterday just gone. Great stuff, eh? Waterless coolant to fill a car, 220 quid for you, sir. That was a proper stinger, I'll tell you. Love the world tour idea. Stop off and yeah, well, it's one of the places I'm going to Ireland anyway, mate. Seriously, once this COVID stuff is over and what have you, there's a couple of people I want to go and see in Ireland. Obviously, I've got a big association with BVD Darts, Brian Van Doren. So I want to go and see Brian. I want to go and see Steve. So it'll probably be a long weekend that I do over there or something in the car and have a good old drive round and go and see a few people. And if you're not too far away, I'll meet up with you and all. We can all meet up in a pub somewhere and have a bit of a shindig. Not wrong with that. Yeah, well, yeah. Ashley Clark. Breathing video really helped me. Yeah, it's like I say, it's one of them. It's all comes from my experience. So I'm telling you what works because I know it works. I'm not saying it but I never turn around and say I'm telling you this. As I always say in a lot of my videos, hell of a lot of my videos, and I used to have to do it in virtually every single one. It's subjective. If you don't believe what I'm telling you, then that's fine. Doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there. We're all entitled to our own opinions, and all I'm trying to do is impart on you some of my knowledge, and hopefully that will help you. Yeah, well, if you keep working on that breathing, it'll get better and better and better, and you'll be able to breathe yourself down to a point, like I've said to you before, where when you're in a pub competition or something like that, all the clowns behind you that are shouting and bawling and trying to put you off, it won't work. It just won't work no more because you won't be able to hear them. Simple as that. If you can breathe yourself down to that point, you won't hear people heckling you. You won't hear your opponent player clacking his darts behind you or trying to talk in your ear and stuff like that, like a certain 16 times world champion used to try and do. You won't hear them anymore, and that's what I used to love. I used to love watching when Phil Taylor was playing Dave Chisnell, because he couldn't say nothing to him because Dave Chisnell stands at the back of the stage. So unless Phil went and stood right behind him at the end of the stage, he couldn't say anything to him, could he? Yeah, that T-shirt. Yeah, a really good mate of mine at work, and he was an agency driver. And I've got, believe it or not, I've got loads and loads and loads somewhere of his drawings. He said to me, he says, you can have these drawings, there's loads of them. He said, if you want, make them into T-shirts. He says, and just send me some commission off them. And that was almost about 2 or 3 years ago, if not more. It might be a lot longer than that ago. But yeah, I'll watch him call it. I'll dig them out when we're doing a live stream one day, and I'll put a couple of them up in front of the camera. I think they're really good. Yeah. Yeah, mate, yeah, sound, yeah. I think well, to be honest with you, we need to have a chat anyway. We haven't had a chat for ages, have we? So we need a bit of a chinwag. So yeah, it'd be handy that. We'll be able to do that over Zoom, do that what we talked about, and then have a bit of a chin wag as well, because I've got a few ideas. There's a couple that I was talking to Atomic Darts about, talking to Matt about, and I think we've got some good idea for some good content as well, so that should be good. Right, Yankee Clipper, don't mind. Yeah, don't mind the haters. I've had a manta, mate. You know, don't you, Yankee Clipper? That fella knows his thing. He stuck up for me when they were, well, a few times when they've been having a go at me. I've got to say though, all my videos and everything throughout YouTube, if you go on them, it's proper funny, because I think, is it Neil now that's getting the same? It's one of us. There's one of us. I think it was it Neil's? I think I was looking on one of your videos the other day, and I went round and looked at about 3 or 4 of them, and it's exactly the same. You've got 1 thumbs down, haven't you? 1, and I get the same. Every video I send out, or every live stream that I send out, I get 1 thumbs down. And I'm just wondering if that's the person that's thinking that, like, stirring it up for everybody. Wouldn't it be nice if you could get into the analytics and find out who it is? Yeah, dead right. 2. If you need to chat bugs, give us a shout. Chat bugs. Ooh, what are them? Yeah, it's like water off a duck's back. Sean, you mentioned there that you've got a channel, and you've got to forgive me for this, mate, but I'm not aware of it. You've got to forgive me for this, because I'm no Neil and what have you, and the others love darts and that. They think they know everybody who's knocking about, but I've not seen your channel. Will you think get in touch with me, DJ.Llewellyn or Neil or somebody? Tell me where you are and what have you, and I'll look you up and I'll try and get you some subscribers, yeah? I'll put you the shout out on my channel. Everybody on here, get over and subscribe, because that's what this YouTube darting community is all about. It's all about helping each other. Right, yeah, Ryan. That is what I want. I want something like what Neil's got. I want a thing. I want an intro. I want an intro and some backdrops and stuff like that I can use for different segments. You know, like thing where I always say we're going over into section 1. I'd like something like an animated thing for that, so as it's more regular but more professional looking, I suppose. And Neil's looks mint. Wish I could do stuff like that, but I'm useless. I spend hours and hours doing it, and it still doesn't get me anywhere. Catch up this week? Yeah, no rush, buddy. Yeah. There it is. Yeah. And always, yeah. Oh, we got here. Where are we? Darren Thompson. Yeah. Do you know something? That's one of the things. Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. I think it'd be, once this, what do we call it? You know, this lockdown's over. I think what would be great is, I mean, darts referee should be able to do it, because he does quite well. He does quite well, I think, out of his channel. But I think what I'd love to be able to facilitate, if we can do it, somebody would probably be better at organising it than me, but I'd certainly have a go if people wanted me to, is I would love to be able to find somewhere, a pub or a venue, where we can all sort of like meet up. So me, the darts referee, Matt Edgar, Adam from Darts Planet TV, Gav if he wants to come. I mean, I know they're a bit more corporate now. They're sort of like a bit, I think we're a bit beneath them now. But any and all, you know, Neil, Kieran, all the lads, I think that'd be fantastic. That, you know, if we could all get together and make like a group video, and then just release it as one, like a one thing, so we all what do we call it? We all play darts, and we can all have like a bit of a chat. It'd be mint, you know, just to get like even a travel lodge or something like that, where they have a conference room, so we can have the conference room. And what we could do is, one step further, is another really good idea, is do it as like a show, and sell tickets for it. Because I tell you something, I'd buy tickets for it if somebody mentioned it to me, definitely. So yeah, I think there's some fantastic potential there, I'll tell you. And the amount of views that we get between us, I don't think we'd have any problem whatsoever filling one of those conference rooms. None whatsoever. So what do you think of that then? As an idea. Hey Gareth, you alright, Gaz? Hey! I've got something. I tell you what, if I ever write a book, right, I think that's going to be one of the chapters, that how me and Gareth thingy met each other at Tesco's. And tell you what, stupidity, mate. I was telling him and what have you, how good a dart player I was, and not big, not like that, but just saying, yeah, I'm pretty good, telling him my averages and all that. And I went to play in like a pub competition, and I tell you what, if I say I played like an ass, right, it would be the understatement of the century. The understatement of the century. I'll tell you what, in all my years, I have never played that bad. And I don't know what it was. I just started with a new set of darts, which now doesn't bother me in the slightest whatsoever. But I kept chapping and changing, blaming everything. I just went down that, and the shoulders went and everything. It was terrible. It really was terrible. $81. Oh, and yes, by the way, Gaz, I'm well. I hope you are too, mate. I've been out of the game for years. Had the BDO on now. Crack with it. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure, because, to be honest with you, it's been a dying horse for a good 4 or 5 years. And then it all came to a bit of a culmination last year and the year before, where they had the barefaced cheek basically to hold the world championship and then virtually not pay the players who won. So it was a bit of a debacle, to say the least. Now, somebody mentioned a couple of weeks ago that the BDO were coming back. To be honest with you, I'd be surprised. But there is a couple of associations out there that have took over. UK Darts is one of them. The other one is MAD. I forget what the acronyms are for, but one's called MAD. The other one's UK Darts. You've got the World Darts Association. You've got the World Disabled Darts Association. So basically, where the BDO was, we've got 3 or 4 branches look like they might be able to hold their own. So I'm hoping that if we've got 3 or 4 branches throughout the country, including Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, hopefully those 4 associations will then be able to, maybe in a couple of years, merge together at the top end, and we can have some like proper championships and what have you again from the not, I wouldn't say amateur league, but it's they're the feeder for the BDO for the PDC. BDO, what am I on about? Lee Harris, hello mate. Hiya mate. Told to the hockey. I've been out of the game for years. Oh right, yes, that's the one that I've just read. Typical. Derek Oliver. Hiya Derek mate. You alright? Dave, still use the dynamite throw if I lean forward quite a lot on my right foot. I'm right-handed. Yeah, well, if you use the dynamite Dave throw, you won't have to lean forward on your front foot. The more weight you put on your front foot, the more unstable you're going to be, because you're putting less weight on your back foot. We've all seen the players that lift the foot off the floor, but you try throwing a dart you take your foot right up off the floor and try throwing a dart one-legged. You're far better off standing bolt upright. Takes a bit to get used to, but believe me, when you've made the change, even just doing that without the rest of the dynamite Dave throw, the difference that it will make to you is just unbelievable. The floor is the finger, the floor is the ground, and your feet are your foundations. Your feet are your foundations, so you've got to keep them rock solid on the floor and then build up from there. BDO is gone, unfortunately. Well, yeah, but you say unfortunately, but it wasn't the BDO, it was the thing in the management, because they acted like the Wheel Tappers and Shunters Club, didn't they? Let's face it, they were like it was like a 1960s mining union. Like, it was just one man running it all, or calling all the shots and what have you. It's just, and they just didn't think, they didn't adapt. 81. It is 81, isn't it? No, it's not, it's 41. Shows how good my eyes are. Oh, come on, David. That's better. Oh! 64. Should have been 121. Yeah. Ryan, yeah, mate, that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I've got to, like I say, I'm building up. Because of what happened with PayPal and what have you, that took about 70% of my revenue stream. Before the pandemic and what have you, when I was doing a lot of face-to-face coaching and that, it was sustainable. You know what I mean? I was doing all right. And then the COVID thing hit. Then we couldn't I couldn't do any face-to-face coaching in the studio or in the pub, which was like the lifeblood of the income from it for me. That all finished. So then it was the Apples it's not a lot, but it was enough to keep me going, if you know what I mean. And like I say, now what I'm trying to do is try to build up some funds now, because obviously you probably won't know this, but I had to spend a bag of sand on a laptop and some bits and bobs, and then about another 400 or 500 quid sorting my internet out, getting some decent cameras, which you can see now. The one at the board and what have you, and the one that you're viewing me on, they're all decent quality cameras. The only thing that I need to really, but I had to get a radio mic of some form or other, because it just, when I did the first one, the test streams, it just sounded like I had my head in a tin bucket. So I had to get this, which is obviously more for answering the phone at a call centre, I think. But yeah, we'll develop on, and like I say, as the funds come in and what have you, Neil will tell you this. Everybody thinks that us YouTubers are millionaires. Well, you'd be very, very sadly mistaken. I barely make enough just to keep the actual channel going. The giveaways that I actually give away are usually the amount of what I've taken in, or sometimes they're even more at Christmas. The Christmas raffle, I was like, not pooing myself, but I was quite concerned that I wasn't going to make anywhere near as much as I'd spent on prizes and what I was going to be spending on postage. But you guys came through for me and I broke even. And then I had the debacle with PayPal, who somebody turned me over on, and because I had that Christmas raffle, they just cut me account off. That was it. So now I'm just building back up again, as I say, with the Skrill, as you can see at the bottom there. Anybody outside the UK, that's really good for people outside the UK, because there's no fees on it whatsoever. If you're converting from dollars, baht, whatever, yen, anything, there's no fees, right? Whereas if you're inside the UK, it's dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com, and I'll give you a direct transfer detail, so you can do a direct transfer for me. Or of course you've got the super chats that are on YouTube, because as I said many times, I never wanted any adverts on my channels, and I wouldn't have adverts on my channels, but because of this really nice person, whoever it is, it's just changed everything. So I've had to have adverts on them to try and sort of like even that balance out. Emailed what? A couple of months back. Oh, right. Was that you who emailed me that blue image of me? Give us a thumbs up if that was you, because I've still got it. Yeah, I was like pretty impressed with that, mate. Yeah, it does, Gaz. It does happen to the best of us, but it's just one of them. It was talk about embarrassing, mate. I've never, but it taught me a lesson. I've got to be honest with you, Gaz. It taught me a lesson. It did. I was ill prepared. I did what 90% of people who are really good at chucking darts just got too cocky, and it served me right. I got kicked in the pants and I deserved it. Put it this way, Gaz, it's a mistake I've never made again. Oh, come on. 81. Oh, for anybody who wasn't here earlier on, these are the Michael Van Gerwen Actives, and these will be in the end of month donators free giveaway. No, not too rich at all, are we, Neil? People think we are, though, but we're not. Do you know something, Neil? It's surprisingly, people think that, like, when you go on YouTube, it's like a massive, a dead easy thing to do. And all right, it is dead easy if you're just going to photograph or just film stuff that other people are doing, like, say, coppers, like they do when they're interacting with people and stuff like that. That's not too bad. But when we're doing this, there's actually production value in what we do. And I don't think people realise how much of a sacrifice it is. The hours, I mean, I think I've done those 2 coaching videos today. That's 8 hours. That's 8 hours worth of work to do those 2 coaching videos. It comes down slightly if you've got blocks to do. But I don't think that a lot of the fans understand the amount of work and what have you that actually goes into running a YouTube channel. It's a lot more than I ever thought it was, and it takes a lot more dedication than I think a lot of people understand. Ton. It's not bad, is it, really? You can think about it. This is the first time I've ever played with these. I must have had, during the hour and a half now that we've been on nearly, or 2 hours. Dear me, nearly 2 hours we've been on. Wow. Right, so I'm going to have to wrap this up very shortly. But in the 2 hours that I've been on, I've probably had about 15 or 20 visits with these. Probably not even that, maybe 10 visits with it. And what have I hit? 2 140s, loads and loads of tons with them. And they're not even my darts. I've just took them out of the box at the beginning and done a review on them. So what I'll say to you in my parting shot is, if you take up the Dynamite Dave way and you stick to it, I absolutely promise you it'll make a massive, massive difference to the way that you play darts and your outlook on it as well. Right, so thanks for joining me today. This has been absolutely fantastic. I've really, really loved it. Thanks to everybody who's done a super chat. I'm absolutely over the moon and very, very humbled by it. Thanks very much for your support. Thanks very much, everybody. I love all a lot of you. So take care of yourselves. And don't forget, lads and lasses, you'll only ever get out of this game what you're prepared to put in. And always, 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 toe to the hockey!